Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and I am back with another knot, and this is one of my favorites. Admittedly, I have never actually used it, but it just blows my mind. I think it's such an amazing knot, and it can do something that, as best I can tell, no other knot can do. This is a very slick, smooth, aluminum rod, and this knot's basically just wrapped around it. And look at this. I am pulling as much as I can, using the end of it for leverage. The knot is separating, but it's not coming loose. I probably should have given it a little bit more space there, because if that separates too much, you might want to give yourself a bigger tail. But it's not budging. It's not sliding at all. Even though this is slippery, it's not. I could wet it. It's not going to budge. This actually even works if this were tapered. This is called the Icicle hitch, and it is a knot that was developed to wrap around literally icicles. So if you were like ice climbing and you needed to climb down something and your only anchor point was a icicle, and you needed to, or like a stalactite, and you needed to climb down, this is the knot you'd want to use. Additionally, if you wanted to like spearfish or something like that, and you needed a harpoon, and you had a like a spear, and you wanted to wrap something around and be able to throw it and pull it back and not have to worry about it coming loose or sliding off, this is the knot you want to use. So before we learn how to tie it, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and like and share this video with anybody you know who might benefit from knowing how to tie this type of knot. Alright, so you first off need something to tie onto. It doesn't have to be as slick and smooth, but it will impress you more if it is, and let you know that it really does work. A stick, a rod, whatever. Another rope. This probably isn't necessary for another rope. There's other knots that'll do just fine, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. And you want to wrap around, going underneath, not on top. This is something that I always forget when I'm tying this knot. You're not going on top. You're going underneath it. And you want to wrap around at least 4 times. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 4 solid loops. Doing more won't hurt, but 4 is certainly the minimum you'd want to do. You don't have to pull a tighter thing. I just like to kind of do that. So now you have 2 standing, or 2 ends coming off. You want to take this loose end and wrap it down. All right, and underneath this one. Whoops. And you're coming over. And now this end is coming underneath, and it's going to run right alongside this other end. Oh, am I coming off screen a little bit? There you go. And you want to make sure you have a nice long tail, just to be on the safe side, especially if you're climbing with this thing. And you don't even really need to pull it tight. Now, pull. And it's not going anywhere. You've got some sliding. It separates, like I said before, but it doesn't come loose. Even if this were tapered, if it came like down, like a arrowhead, it would still hold. Just make sure you tie up high enough, at the end. You don't want to tie at the very end. If you're climbing down this way, you do want to give it room to stretch. And depending on how slippery this thing was and how tapered it was, maybe I would put extra wraps at the beginning. But that's the knot, and it just blows my mind how it can hold so well. There's actually 2 ways to tie it, but I'm not as familiar with the other one, so I'm not going to show it to you. So let's look at that one more time before my battery dies. You're going to go underneath whatever it is you're tying. Wrap around 4 times. At least 4 times. And you are going underneath, going across underneath your line, over your icicle, wrap around and tuck it underneath so that it runs parallel to the other line. It's running right alongside it. And pull. And you've got an icicle hitch. Absolutely love this thing. Even bouncing it like that. This part isn't moving. It separates down here, but that's that's up there and it's holding. Now this should not by any means be your go-to knot for rappelling and climbing. This is like when all you've got is an icicle. That's what you want to use. There's other things that I think are a smarter choice. But this does work. Alright, I think that's all I've got to say about this one. It's an easy knot to tie. It's a little weird. It's amazing to me. I don't use it much, so I have to brush up on it every now and then to make sure I don't forget it. Because when you need this knot, you freaking need this knot. No other knot will do. For most other applications, there's a lot of different knots that you could use in multiple scenarios. This is really the only one you can use in this type of scenario. So if you need it, you really need it. Put this one in your back pocket. Alright, I hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.